I said school board, you're right. State Board of Education, District 11. All right, so we have 3 of y'all. We're just going to have to pass the mic, and just so y'all know, there's not a really long cord, and I know they tried to get our other mic on there. We're just going to get close and get to know each other. All right, we have Patricia Pat Hardy and Feyi, help me, Obamehinti, Feyi Obamehinti, and Cheryl Surber. So y'all will each have your 2 minutes, and we will start with Pat.
Thank you very much. It's been my honor to serve on the State Board of Education since 2003. And I think that I've made a great contribution to the Board of Education. When I went to the Board of Education, it was a very dysfunctional group. There was a lot of infighting. And with the leadership under Donna Bacoric, who is our current leader, but even before her, Donna Cargill, we were able to bring about a degree of civility amongst the members of the state, getting ready to go to court, State Board of Education. I have what I would call institutional knowledge. I've been a teacher. I've been a lifelong Republican. I've lived in Fort Worth for many, many years since I graduated from college. I moved to the west side of Fort Worth. And so I taught school, and I've been a school administrator in my working career. I retired this summer, and so I will have even more time to dedicate to the State Board of Education. Some of the things that have made a difference just recently in the State Board of Education, I have returned cursive writing to the curriculum. Some of you would like to do that. And that is going to be something that you will need to watch for in your local districts, because it is now in the documentation, but it's not ever carried out necessarily in the local districts like it's supposed to be. Another area of interest was the personal financial literacy. And I've been instrumental in trying to get that to be a required course for high school graduation. It is important for kids to know the difference between wants and needs by the time they graduate from high school. So I've been instrumental in helping that along. So I would really appreciate your support for my continued service on the State Board of Education. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us this evening. It's an honor to be with you today. My name is Feyi Obamehinti, and I am running for the State Board of Education, District 11. A little bit about myself. I was born in Phoenix, Arizona by Nigerian parents, and I had the opportunity to grow up in Nigeria as well as in London. So you see a mix of my Texan British accent that I carry along with me. I've been back now for almost 30 years. I'm married and with 3 daughters, 27, 24, and 23. I'm a homeschool mom of 11 years and a public school advocate of 15 years. So I have a total of 26 years in education. And you might wonder, what are some of my qualifications? I have a microbiology first degree and dual masters in teaching and learning, curriculum and instruction, because I know that to whom much is given, much is required as a minister of the gospel. Service is at the core of what I do. In order to be able to serve better the educators that I had the opportunity to serve and serve our students, I went back and got my doctoral degree in curriculum and instruction. The State Board of Education has 7 responsibilities, and I've been privileged to do a lot of those responsibilities through the years. I've been an elementary, middle school, high school science and math teacher, administrator, principalship, trainer for the Texas Education Agency, as well as service center consultant. 2 years ago, I opened up my own business doing the same thing, providing quality service to train our principals, teachers, and counselors across the state as well as across the nation. It's a privilege to serve because I believe so much that to whom God has given so much, the only way you show to God that you are really, really appreciative is to give back. And because I was raised in a Christian home, you don't have to doubt who my conservative beliefs are. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Surber. I'm running for State Board of Education, District 11. I know it's a big surprise. I was born and raised in Fort Worth, lived within 4 miles of TCU all my life. I went to Fort Worth Country Day School, went there from 8th grade on. I was the first person from my Country Day class to graduate, not to graduate from high school, but to start college rather. I started 12 days before I'd actually graduated from Country Day. I was also the first person out of my Country Day class to actually finish college, because I did it in 3 years at the age of 20. Went back my 4th year and got put in 30 undergraduate, 12 graduates, so 42 hours my 4th year, so I was busting tail to get through all that, and I was tired, and I eventually got my MBA later on. I have been the mother of a special needs child for 25 years. And I don't know if you're aware of it, but Texas just lost a case here recently on special needs. We need somebody there that has not just book knowledge or nursing knowledge or something like that. We need somebody there that understands from personal experience. We had an ICU in our house the first 3 years of our daughter's life. I've changed trachs, I've changed G-tubes, I've cleaned dressings, all those sort of things. So I know special needs, and the special needs people need some representation. In addition, I have been a small business owner since 1979. I've also worked for other companies like TCU. Like I say, I have 3 degrees from TCU. Also went to UT, UTA, and TCC, and spent half my time in public schools, half my time in private schools prior to college. Anyway, I have a lot of experience also from that broad experience with my daughter being special needs, all the way to my other daughter who is high school valedictorian and is now a Texas A&M honors engineering student. And so I just really, it felt like there's things that need to be addressed. I'm tired of the propaganda that is in the news media, for instance, and that our kids are learning in schools, and there's a lot of history you just can't get without actually having experienced some of those things. Thank you.
Thank you, and sorry, I joined the live feed and my phone went off. Okay, again, I did not write these questions, so I didn't have a chance to check some of the statistics, but I'm sure that y'all will correct me if they are incorrect. Texas fell to the bottom 5th in the nation in education. Why do you think this happened, and what do you propose to improve this ranking?
Thank you. Actually, Texas ranks number 34 according to the recent Wallet Hub rankings of best public school systems across the nation. We're number 34. Why? There's so many reasons for that. One of the reasons is right now we have 5 million students enrolled in our public schools, and 2 million of those are of Hispanic descent. And one of the key things that is tied to achievement is accountability. And a lot of the students do not have the language required to actually be able to do the work. So at the end of the day, when accountability ratings comes out, it affects us as a whole. What do I plan to do? Actually, one of my priorities is to make sure that we have a statewide initiative that helps prepare our elementary school students for secondary grades. One that will make transition possible and ensure that they have opportunities of equal access for all students, so that we don't keep on recycling the same mistake over and over.
One of the things, I will say that statistic is wrong, and even the statistic for that my fellow candidate said 34th in the nation, you can get all kinds of different statistics that show different things for different leanings. One of the things I can say is that for years, Texas was very thankful for Mississippi, because they were the one that was always lower than we were. But since the 90s, we have done a great deal towards improving education in Texas. There are a lot of things, the idea of the language, ESL, ELL, problems do hold back the school districts a great deal. Poverty holds back our school districts. And there are many things that we can do to improve education. And I contend that we are working towards those very valiantly at this particular time in our education system. I don't think money is the answer. I do think that hard work among the educators is what is needed. Thank you.
Repeat the exact question again.
Texas fell to the bottom 5th in the nation in education. Why do you think this happened, and what do you propose to improve the ranking?
I have to agree with Feyi on the numbers, but anyway, when you have people that do not learn the language, they don't come here or whatever, they don't learn it at home, it makes it much harder. And I was actually interviewed today with Dallas Morning News education reporter, and I have no problem with people coming here legally. I do have a problem with people not coming here legally, and but we do have people here right now. And as far as the kids that are American kids, I think we all need to be learning foreign languages. I placed out of 3 semesters of Spanish. I took German in college. We need to learn and teach those kids at a younger age. But we need to teach in English, period. We can have the ESL and all that. And when I learned Spanish, about the first 2 sentences that my Spanish teacher taught were in English. Everything else for the next 3 years was Spanish only. And so you learn in the language of the land you're in. Except when you're taking.
Thank you. Ms. Hardy, you will have this question first, and we've got another statistic. So again, I was given these and haven't verified them, but y'all correct us if we're wrong. All right. Texas ranked 50th in the country in the category on children whose parents speak fluent English, or maybe number 1 for parents who do not speak fluent English. Do you feel there are adequate programs to address the number of ESL students?
I don't know that statistic, but that is entirely possible because we have such a large Hispanic population. We are now a minority-majority state, and meaning more of our students are Hispanic than others. I know that the ESL programs have come under a lot of scrutiny. There are different kinds of people. There are a lot of people in this audience who think that you ought to do an immersion program. But what has been designed is been designed by the legislature, and it is a bilingual program. It is a also ESL or ELL program to help those students. We have like 100 different languages spoken in our Texas public schools, which is very, very difficult to overcome.
We're going to go to Mrs. Surber. Sorry.
The last time I checked, we are called the United States of America. And Teddy Roosevelt, if I recall correctly, he was the one who said we need to have people who come here assimilate. Mm-hmm. The way you assimilate is you speak in English, among other things, but you speak English. And, you know, you have to teach in English, and I think we ought to actually teach, you know, the American kids, I think we need to, or anybody in our schools, that we need to teach them in a young age, a foreign language like Spanish or whatever, but we need to teach our classes in English. I mean, I don't know what else to say. That's what needs to happen.
I agree.
What else do you want to know? I think it's pretty clear.
We'll go to Ms. Obamehinti.
Thank you. Okay, there's a lots of room to improve our ESL and bilingual programs. That's one of the key things that our business does. I was in a campus today training all our teachers at that campus about ESL methodologies. Yes, it is a big challenge for a lot of schools. And one of the reasons is because we don't have consistent programs across our schools. You could have a school down the road using a different model. You go down the road, they're doing a different model, and it's a challenge. So there are lots of rooms to improve our program. I know that because past 15 years of my public education career has been working and serving our English language learners and helping our administrators and educators on best practices, how to make sure they're teaching their content, math, science, social studies, English language arts in English in a way that all students, despite their background or language background, they can acquire the language needed. Thank you.
Thank you, and we will go back to you first on this one. Do you feel that the list of approved textbooks is unfairly ruled by any specific group, or specifically the religious right?
I don't believe so at all, that our instructional materials are specifically ruled by the religious right. Actually, that's one of my sharp edges as a deep conservative. I believe we don't even have enough I'm a proponent of character education, and right now our character education programs are still optional. Not all school districts are expected or required to. And so a lot of school districts incorporate them either in their English language arts or their social studies content. So I believe that there's room for more, but it will take a lot of working together and getting the input of all stakeholders to see what is best for each constituent. I was on the review for instructional materials for special topics, and I had the opportunity to review the Jewish studies, and those have been adopted. And I am very, very glad that we have that, because our kids need that variety of background.
I think there was a time when there was a great deal of influence by the Christian groups who took it upon themselves to do the review of the textbooks. This is something that the State Board of Education welcomes. We want people to have a voice in the textbooks. And it happened that a very religious right group just did that. And what it did is it woke everyone up, and we started having all kinds of people weighing in on the textbooks. The State Board of Education appreciates that. We appreciate people coming and testifying. We appreciate the hours that people have put into it. We have teams of people now, and especially with everything being online and they can easily access the material, that they review, and we read all of the reviews made by those various groups. It is very important to have the feedback from the public for our textbooks, and I think our textbooks, as a result, are very balanced in the state of Texas.
First off, I talked to Governor Abbott when he was the Attorney General, and I said something to him when Judge Moore was doing the 10 Commandments years ago. I said, what would be wrong with putting on the school walls, do unto others you would have them do unto you, and love your neighbors yourself? He said, I don't have a problem with it. I said, why aren't we doing it? He said, I don't know. I said, well, let's do it. That's one of the things I would like to see happen. And I don't have a problem with putting things like that in the school textbooks, on the school walls. We need to learn to love each other and accept people as they are. And as far as, I don't have a problem putting things that are more conservative in the textbooks. And in fact, there are certain things that if I found that they included in the textbooks, or some publisher tried to come in and say, oh, we need to put this in there. There are certain things that I would absolutely say, zero chance of getting that past me. Anyway, thank you.
Good.
All right, I think I got a little out of order, so Ms. Surber, this is going to come to you first. Why are you more qualified than your opponents?
Well, as I started out saying a while ago, I'm pretty sure that I am the only one that's had 25 years, or really any years, of experience with the special needs kids. And the special needs, as I just said a while ago, that Texas just lost a lawsuit here recently. And I think if we had had somebody on the state board that was familiar with, not just by reading a textbook, not by being a nurse or something like that, but actually living it for 25 years, I think that would make a big difference. Also, I'm not one that's a real pushover. If I see something wrong, I'll go investigate, and I'll go I've done innovative solutions to things, made them more efficient and effective. And I like talking to the hands-on people, the teachers, the parents, and I want more power to the parents. I want the teachers to be able to teach and quit having to teach the test. I'm sick of it. They need to learn everyday values and everyday things that they can learn for getting jobs and things.
Go ahead. All right. What was the question?
What makes you more qualified than your opponents?
What I would just like to say is that I am qualified. I don't want to necessarily say I'm more qualified than my opponents, although I respect both of them, just like the judges. We respect each other. But the fact is, I have been doing the job, and I've represented you well for the last 15 or 16 years. I have a passion for students. I still do work today. I was in a school doing geography bees moderating. Yesterday I was judging spelling bees. I love the schools. I want to see the schools in Texas do well. I want to see them continue on an upward spiral, improve. And I have the qualifications, many years of education, 30 years as a classroom teacher, 17 years as an administrator, lifelong Republican, conservative values, and I'm not afraid to speak up. And I do that quite often, whether it's to the State Board of Education or to the legislature. So I just think that I would be the better candidate for this job.
Thank you. I will say that my qualification stands by itself, and I don't want to make in terms of comparison. I think everyone has their own merit to stand on, and I stand on the merit that I believe strongly that my conservative values are consistent no matter where I am. I am known to be a very, very vibrant and courageous voice for the different people that I've had the opportunity to serve through the years. You can count on such that I do not buck under pressure whatsoever, because my values and convictions come from a biblical perspective as a minister of the gospel. I count it the highest honor to serve our Lord Jesus Christ, and I do that in every opportunity that He gives me. That alone is a standalone that I believe strongly qualifies me, apart from all the qualifications that I have and have opportunity basically to be comprehensive. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to ask our tax assessor candidates to make their way up, and we're going to give you a 1-minute close in the order that I have you on the straw poll. So Ms. Surber, Ms. Obamehinti, and then Ms. Hardy.
Hi, okay. My name is Cheryl Surber. I'm running for State Board of Education. Go to votesurber.org. There's nobody that I know of on the ballot, either on this ballot or around the state, that has the experience that I have with special needs kids and adults. I've been endorsed by a number of special needs people. I have a thing here where back in 1986 I founded a group called Chronically Ill Children Parental Action Committee. I spoke at the on the Board of Trustees meeting at Cook Fort Worth Children's Hospital, and I was the first parent to ever do that. I've had experience with both public and private schools, before college, during college, and I've worked for other people and had innovative solutions to things. There's always a better way to do things, and I like to talk to the hands-on people to be able to get the solutions that will work best and make it win-win-win. And anyway, again, Cheryl Surber, votesurber.org, and I appreciate your vote.
I believe it's time for change, and change is always hard. And change is something as humans that we normally don't embrace much. Change in order to move our government forward. I believe strongly I am the only one out of all three of us that has received the endorsement of well-known, strong conservative organizations so far, and I have 3 of those. I am proud of that because they know who I am, that my values doesn't change based on my environment. People that have worked with me know. They know that they can count on Feyi. They call me the preacher, and it's an honor for me to represent the Lord. I believe it's time for a new change in District 11 to move us forward. I hope I can count on you. You can go to www.feyi.schools.com and learn about my work in education all through. And I hope you will consider to support and to vote for me March the 6th.
I do not believe that change for change's sake is necessary. If I had not done a good job, then I would say it's time for change. But I have done a good job. I've represented you quite well these years in Austin. I've put heart and soul into this. I spend a great deal of time working with individuals. When I first got on the State Board of Education, they didn't give teachers, I'm not talking about teacher organizations, I'm talking about math teachers and social studies teachers. They didn't even give them the time to speak before the board hardly with any recognition. And we've been able to do that, so we bring in the people in the field a lot greater than we've ever done before. I enjoy my work. I'm happy to work for you. I'm happy to reach out and help you in any way that you have any kind of problems. I've done that with different groups. And so I really think that change for change's sake is not good. Change only if the person is not doing their job. Thank you.